No, exactly. And you laid out the perfect case for capitalism. And that's something that I think is becoming obviously a debate. Is socialism better than capitalism? And I think we need to do a better job at promoting why capitalism is better and why that, for lack of better terms, makes a driving vehicle for us to have that freedom that we enjoy here in the United States. We are beyond blessed to have the opportunities that we have. And part of that, and President Trump knew this, he knew that to get us rolling, to be able to be in a position to obviously renegotiate trade, as we've talked about, and be in a position to take on foreign leaders when there's being, for lack of better terms, issues that are going on, whether it's military or financial, et cetera, or geopolitical forces, you had to make the economy strong. What did he do? He cut taxes, he cut regulations. And we've seen that across the country, and we need to make sure that we have more of that happening here in South Jersey. And part of that is having representation and having a seat at the table when someone's going to speak up and be that force, that relentless force that is going to keep pushing for our district, for the constituents. And right now we don't have that, and we need to continue to push so that we do have that representation. You know, we talked about similar people in my age realm. We've talked about AOC in the past. You know, we are diametrically opposite in every conceivable option on the table, and she you know, you got to give her credit. She speaks her mind. Granted, I don't agree with anything that she's saying, and you know, she cost her district 20,000 jobs with the Amazon HQ situation. Yep. And you need to be able to have an opportunity to not only compete but leveraging the assets that we have here. And taking advantage to the point where, okay, yeah, let's look at South Jersey. Let's develop that even more. And that's why helping candidates that are on the ballot this year, obviously with John Risley, with Phil Gunther on Assembly here in Atlanta County, we need to get them elected this November. And obviously down in Cape May and Cumberland, we need to get Michael Testa, State Senate candidate, as well as Antoine McClellan and Eric Simonson, the Assembly candidates. We need to get them into Trenton so that we can continue to stop the bleeding on a state level, and obviously expand that here from a congressional standpoint. So we have representation in D.C. again, where, you know, someone doesn't go out and issue a press release, let's move on from the Mueller report, and then a few days later vote our Attorney General in contempt of Congress.
Which happens with people that you just think would be smarter than that. I don't know what's going to be happening in the future. I believe that our president's ratings have gone up tremendously. I think that he needs people like you to stand behind him and to cast the votes that are necessary to make our country secure. Now, you're in the weapons industry. You have done everything for almost every branch of government. Is there anything new out there that you can talk to us about that is going to be in the forefront of what we're doing on the border to protect us? Yeah,
so one of the things that needs to be developed, so everyone talks about the wall, right? We have a physical barrier 30 feet high that's made out of either steel slats or other material, obviously. But that's just one piece of it. We need to be able to have technology such as drones, which, you know, I've talked about countless times, to be able to support Border Patrol, to give them the tools and assets. I can use examples that are a little more to the point with our foreign friends on some things that they utilize that I don't think would be necessary on our border. However, we need to have a physical barrier because, A, that stops. It's like a leaky hose. You stop it first. That gives Border Patrol an opportunity to get there. But the other issue that continues to be a problem, and President Trump has leveraged this, is why isn't Mexico doing more? Why isn't Guatemala? Why isn't Honduras? Why isn't any of these other South American countries trying to assist in this flow? And why are they leaving? And everyone on the left tries to say, well, they're leaving conditions, they need to come here. Okay, fine. They need to come here. They need to do it the right way. And if they have to get in line to do that, think about all the other immigrants that do it legally. And again, this comes back to blurring the line between illegal and legal. But in terms of the assets and the weapons that we have, having an eye in the sky, we have helicopters that are unmanned today that you could, if you saw them in the sky, you're like, I have no idea if there's a pilot in there or if that's actually an unmanned aerial vehicle.
A very large drone.
Obviously, yeah, exactly. And it's leveraging the sensor equipment that we have. You know, like I said, with Israel has a wall that is quite impenetrable, and they know whether or not something like a Scorpion is even nearby. And that is that's one of those same things that we talked about earlier. The fact of a local standpoint, we don't allow people to come into our homes because we want to protect what's in there. The same should be said for our borders on the southern when it comes to Mexico, and leveraging those tools, because Border Patrol is now in a situation where they're dealing with individuals that come here. They say the magic words so that they can seek asylum or get processed for a court date, and then they disappear into our country. And you know, we're in 2019. I remember back in 2000 when the discussion was there's 12 million illegal immigrants in this country. We have nearly 800,000 to a million that we can count of illegal immigrants that have come every year. You're telling me that after nearly 20 years, we're still talking about the same number? That's why the border wall is necessary, and that's why. And, you know, the famous video of CNN, Jim Acosta goes down to the border.
I know, what
and
an idiot.
He goes by the wall, and he's like, you know, it's very peaceful down here. You know, there's not really any emergency like the president says, and he's making the point. The wall is there, therefore it is
peaceful.
It is peaceful. It's redirecting individuals. So we need to finish the wall. And President Trump has done everything he possibly can to get funding, to do it with Congress's help. And, you know, the same Democrats that voted for this back in 2006 are now voting against it now because they need voters.
Yeah, exactly.